has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
It's pain-free Friday. Ferrall stolen out minutes on the mahogany, waxing it up 100, 200. The bad seed, the burgundy, the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion trade up should be, along with the Tutty and Tater King himself, the founder of the ILC podcast, the rights holder of the Sheet of Integrity, put it with the golf guru. It's Carver High this afternoon, ladies. Mafia running it with Luke, I am your father. The rundown today, a double shot with Morency from British Columbia in this very hour. And then in the final hour, the coup de grace, Kurt Heelan from NBC Sports talking NBA Rack with us. And then a double shot with Adam Kaplan, our NFL insider, including, I guess, some version of Bust a Cap in your ass. There are no spreads to hit. We might just talk about injuries and updates and deals and NFL skinny and Pro Bowl. Oh, I can't wait to hear his exciting flag football updates for me. I'm just thrilled to death, Carver High. You know how I get excited for flag football, you know, for the kids especially.
Well, I'm sure, happy Friday here
yes,
on Coast to Coast.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure, and he's going to tell you, of course, he was down in Mobile at the Senior Bowl the last couple of days, but I'm sure he'll also, in the usual Bust a Cap in Yo Ass segment that you do, maybe he can let you know who he thinks will win the flag football on Sunday at the Pro Bowl. Maybe he's got a pick for Eli versus Peyton in the flag football game.
Are they running the flag football game? Those two are running that the kick?
I'm not sure. All I know is every time I see some video of some nonsense going on at those Pro Bowl games, the two of their faces are planted right there on it. So I'm thinking they're the coaches, Luke says. They're coaching. One has the AFC, one has the NFC.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
I would guess Peyton's AFC and Eli's NFC, since that's where they were. But, yes, you will get plenty of them this weekend and the next really week and a half shoved down your face with the Super Bowl being in New Orleans, too. I'm sure there'll be plenty of Manning brothers. And Eli's going to go in the Hall of Fame next week, too, while you're there, because he's going to be part of that.
You think he'll be going around the media radio row at the convention center? We get a little, because I'm friends with Eli, as you know, and I told him once he's like interviewing a garage door. He's so boring. And Mafia was there when I did it. We were at a billiards championship in the city, and I said, man, are you boring?
Yeah, but that was when he was still playing. Yeah. Now that he doesn't play,
he's a comedian.
He's a big comedian now. So he's a big comedian, and you just have to go and worry about that. All right, so we got a lot to do here today. We have Pebble Beach going on as well. Round number 2 for that. Sepp Straka, Scotty.
Marty Straka.
12 under, taking care of business again. Out in the lead at Pebble. Tony Finau at 11 under. Henley, McIlroy, Cam Davis all at 10 under. Yes, Lee, Don't Call Me Gil, Hodges at 9 under. Nick Taylor, Patrick Cantlay, and Eric Cole all involved as well. So we do have Pebble Beach that we are working on here, Scotty. So we have that live. Last night's NBA, tonight's NBA, we'll go through everything. Bronny got like a whole quarter of burn in that Laker blowout win. Did you see that?
Yeah, I don't care about him. I actually want to revert back to how about last night? It's like a movie. 15-0. Ferrall hitting every single NBA bet and every single NHL bet. 15-0 last night, Carver High. Documented on SportsGrid. All live on Coast to Coast. When is the last time I had a heater, a 15-0 burger last night? You can't even remember a day where I had a perfect run. We ran the tables. We cashed every ticket last night.
15-0? Did I get that right? 15-0? Those are the numbers?
That was
You've
the
got
numbers.
to be kidding me.
College rack was an abortion, but NBA 5-0, NHL 10-0, including like 3 puck line winners. I hit every single bet. I hate to say it, but it's true. Documented.
The Anteaters got me late night. Again,
late night
struggled
with the 5-point win. A struggle
I
with
mean,
Long Beach.
overtime. But they were laying way too much. Even when they went to overtime, I knew it was going to be too much for them to overcome. Memphis with the Memphis-Houston game was the best game last night, as we thought it was going to be. And you did get Houston lost, but you got the cover on Houston.
I hit them
there.
all.
So
5-0 in the NBA, 10-0 in the NHL. Greatest night ever. I always like to apologize to the SportsGrid audience and all the fans when I have a night like this, because it's, I'm so sorry that I hit every single bet, that you made that much cash last night on a Thursday night. Because, what have you done for me lately? What am I going to do today? What am I going to do tomorrow? What are we going to do Sunday? What is Carver High's golf bets going to do? What is Carver High's college rack Saturday top 25 going to do? Does he have any props today for the Super Bowl? Because next week, when I'm on Bourbon Street, I am demanding 10 per day, at least 50 props. If he gives me 100, I'll be even happier, like a dog in heat. If he gives me 100 props next week, I will be a dog in heat.
You got to have it. Lots of props. We're going to try to get out as many as we can. I do have some early numbers for you today on some of the most bet touchdowns and player props already with a week to go. Who's already going to the window? We do have that. And I know you always love the Gatorade. So people are already getting the theories lined up for the Gatorade next week. So I know
the Gatorade. I drink a lot of Gatorade, as you know. Gatorade Zero is one of my favorite drinks.
Gotta have it. So we'll go through all. We have all the NBA tonight, including Giannis and Wembanyama tonight in San Antonio. So that could be a little bit of fun. Late night Suns and Warriors. They put out the All-Star rosters. Everyone's upset of all the snubs. A lot of snubs. Sabonis leads the league in rebounding, not there. Trae Young leads the league in assists, not there. All these guys getting snubbed because
LaMelo, top 5 in scoring, rebounding, and assists, not there.
Had the most fan votes for the guards in the East, and they couldn't find a way into the game.
How is that possible?
Because we have to make sure that we have all the favorites there, all the mainstays. I don't know how Damian Lillard All-Star this year. How is Damian Lillard an All-Star this year? What has Dame Time done this year to warrant a trip to the All-Star game? And I like Hero Sandwich as much as the next guy. I mean, Trae Young and Ball have better years than Hero.
So Hero Miami. Sandwich made it, and I know those guys didn't. And then I don't like Dame Time because he stiffed Gunner, and there was no one there.
I know.
Now listen,
I know.
Here's the scene. No one sitting by him. He's by himself. There's no one within 5 rows of either one of us. We're in the front row at the fight, pay-per-view event. Big fight in Vegas. Nobody there, just Gunner, myself, and Dame Time. And my son turns around and says, "You're one of my favorite players. You're a badass. Can I get a picture with you?" And he said, "No." And I was like, I go, "Man, you're really busy, huh?"
He's on the list.
I go, "You're really busy, huh,
list.
bro?" And I looked at him and I just was like, I had a face of disappointment. Like, you're a disappointment. So, like, prima donna NBA players. Now, I can guarantee you LaMelo Ball would have shook his hand and taken a picture because he's cool with everybody. But when you're a prima donna superstar, you don't like people asking you for autographs, go screw yourself. I hope he rolls his ankle at the All-Star game.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
One of the weirdest nicknames I've heard in fighting. There's people have some strange nicknames at times, but the Lemon Killer. What do you even make of that? What is that about?
I don't even know what that means, but I'm gonna squeeze him like a lemon on the day we fight, and he's gonna pop.
Only on SportsGrid.
We're going to get rid of all the badness, if you will, over the past few decades for the Raiders and set yourself up for the future. It's a horrible job to take if you expect to win, but it's not a bad paying gig, so go ahead and take it.
With an owner in Mark Davis who has continued to make bad decision after bad decision. Does Pete Carroll leave a culture behind that Joe Brady in 2 to 3 years takes over?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
He did nothing for 5 weeks. So he's becoming his brother. So I don't want to hear about how great TJ Watt is with his 0 playoff wins. And he's the first guy to admit it. He comes right out and says, I've never won a playoff game. I don't matter. All right, at least we all know who the best player on the team is. It's George Pickens. If you don't believe that, well, then screw you too.
Ferrall, coast to coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We'll see if they get McCain back. Kelly Oubre, Yabusele's been good. Caleb Martin's a defensive specialist. Andre Drummond can still give you, almost a double-double at any point. I can't go south on this team. And now you're giving it to me at 2-1 to make the playoffs? To be in the Final 8? Folks, give me the Philadelphia 76ers to make the playoffs at plus 210.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
Always like to get Morency in for a double shot from British Columbia. You can get Sports Rage weeknights at 10 to midnight Eastern along all of our outlets on TV and radio. And we're headed to New Orleans, of course, this weekend. Tomorrow, Morency is flying from Vancouver to Nolens. And then Sunday morning, I'm rolling at 5:30 a.m. on a 7 jumbo jet airliner down to Nolens. And we'll be hooking up. Morency already challenging Ferrall to a drink-off on Bourbon Street on Sunday. Right when we get there, just immediacy, he's like, let's go. Let's go hit the jambalaya. Let's go hit the Harrah's on the water, the casino, and we'll have a drink-off. He's already challenged me, this guy Morency.
Well, you know what? I'm getting in on Saturday night. So Saturday night will be my my taste of the town, so to speak. Although I am glad there's a sports book right on Canal Street, actually. So we will be able to get some bets in throughout the week, Scott, which I'm always a fan of. Which that's the one frustrating thing about California. I love the Super Bowls in California, but it's very annoying when you're sitting on the set and there's a game about to go off the board, and it's a challenge to get the bet in. So at least you know what, I'll be visiting the sports book pretty often in New Orleans this week.
Honestly, there's got to be at least 10 ways around that in California. I can think of a top 10 ways around that. Mafia, get out the top 10 ways around it book and see if there's guidelines for escaping the rules. I don't believe in rules and such.
It's not easy. It's not easy. Like I said, I never understood. It's baffling to me. Texas and California are the last two states that is just. Yeah, it's insanity that they don't have sports betting. It just, hey, it is what it is. But I am glad that they have sports betting in Louisiana.
Do you like seafood, Morency? Are you a big fan of jambalaya and spicy seafood?
Not really. Although
fail.
You know what? Listen, it's New Orleans, so I'll try the food. Obviously, it's what they're known for. But I'm not the biggest seafood maven, to be honest with you.
What about jazz music? Do you like jazz music, Morency?
Yeah, I'm down with jazz music. Jazz is cool. I'm down with the festive horns and stuff like that.
Yeah. So have you already started working on prop betting for the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, I've been jumping in. I've been pounding the pavement, so to speak, on a daily basis. Sort of looking at the card. It's tough. You know what I mean? It's tough. The Super Bowl, these are the sharpest numbers that you're going to get. And actually, it's almost like, you know what? You almost, if you like someone to like over earlier, you might end up liking them under after because the numbers change so much. Like Dallas Goedert's a good example. We all know the Kansas City Chiefs struggle against tight ends, even though for whatever reason the Buffalo Bills didn't try to exploit it at all. But I think Philadelphia will. I thought Dallas Goedert was going to have a big game against Washington, and he did, Scott. But, you know, I've said this before, guys. This is sort of like shopping for a Christmas present on New Year's Eve if you wait to bet these props, like to next Saturday or next Sunday. Like the best numbers are already kind of gone already. Like I said, like there's been that much movement on these props when they come out, and what's Goddard up to? I want to see what Goddard's up to right now. He opened up at like 46.5. All right. And he's crossed the 50 barrier at most spots right now. I've heard of some like 52s and some 53s. And here we go. I'm seeing right now with Goddard. Goddard's all the way up to 51.5. So think about that, guys. This game is still like 10 days away or whatever, 9 days away. And there's been a 4-yard movement on one prop on one tight end. Right? Like, I don't like it as much at 51.5 as I did at 46.5, 47.5. So, as far as the props, though, the Jalen Hurts prop is the baffling one. This is the one that you know is going to get jacked up before game time. This guy's got touchdowns in, 10 of his last 12 games? He's a touchdown machine. When they, Barkley gets touchdowns, guys, but when they get inside the 1, the 2, whatnot, Jalen Hurts pops it in. I mean, they do the brotherly shove. He scores. This number, guys, was like minus 105, minus 110. I would expect, Scott, right now, you can get it at minus 115, Jalen Hurts. I would expect by kickoff, bro, Jalen Hurts will be like minus 140 or 50 to score a touchdown. Like, the casual fans haven't bet this stuff yet, Scott. It's pro bettors, right? Casual fans don't have enough money to put down like $1,000 on a prop 2 weeks before the game. They don't do it.
I agree.
Right? So by the time the casuals, all get there, these numbers are all already beaten. Right? So get in as early as you can on these Super Bowl props if you like them. Unless you like the unders. If you like the unders of the prop, just kick back and wait. Just kick back and wait because the numbers will only go up, not down with player props.
Barkley, I've been hearing, he's 254 away from like 3,000 or something like this. And I'm like, what? And I go, that's not accurate. And first of all, what's his number at for yards in this thing? Because that Kansas City defense is as badass as the Philly defense.
As high as it gets, man, for a Super Bowl, Scott. Barkley right now is sitting at 112.5.
Yeah, I thought it was 114. That's crazy. Do you think he'll get that in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I wouldn't bet against him. As good as Kansas City is, look, man, Cook, the Bills ran the ball for 73 yards, guys, in the third quarter, right? I don't know if James Cook got beat up, if he was tired, he kept taking himself out of the game, but the Bills ran the ball very effectively against Kansas City. And the thing with Barkley is, Scott, as you know, you think you have him, you know what I mean, in the first quarter or whatnot. Like, although he's been a hot starter lately. But there's games with Barkley where he'll have like 8 carries for 19 yards or something. And you think, oh, yeah, we've got him contained. He just pops them, Scott. So that's why the 112. I could see KC doing a pretty good job on him. And then, boom, there's a 48-yard run for him. You know what I mean? Bam, there's a 60-yarder that just sort of gets this over the number. I wouldn't bet against Barkley.
Yeah, that's going to be insane. When we come back, we'll see what he's got cooking for tonight and this weekend in hoops and hockey. It's a Friday C2C. Roll with us. this guy Ovechkin, how he was injured and missed all that time, and the fact that he's still on pace to pass Gretzky.
I think everybody's rooting for Ovechkin at this point in time. And I think he'll do it as well. So it's a feat that no one ever thought Scotty would be broken. It's going to be broken, and it's probably going to be broken because, he's not going to stop shooting.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
We all know MVPs don't win the Super Bowl. It's not about MVPs, man. The only MVP, fine. Win the MVP of the Super Bowl. Nobody cares about the MVP of the regular season besides people that bet on it, the actual player themselves, and their agent that's getting a cut of the bonus money. Other than that, who cares? What do you care who wins the MVP? Like I said, unless you bet on it. Right? If you bet on it, fine. Then I guess you care.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
They have a lot of hopes, and they thought last year they were turning the corner. Even early this year, they start turning the corner, and then you lose 13 games in a row.
Edmonton chipped away, got a late goal, won the game 4-3. I felt like they dominated the third period. They moved the puck on that power play. It was an exceptional hockey game. It went over the total.
Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
So last night, Morency, God is my witness, live on SportsGrid. I did it as well, documented. A 15-0 burner. I hit all 5 NBA games, and I hit 10 NHL bets, and I had 3 puck line bets. Now, I swear to God, I'm scared to death to place a bet tonight.
That's what happens, yeah.
I cashed everything last night. I had a great night, best night I've had in 2 years betting. And I may not place a bet. Honestly, because it's going to happen. Like, I get all cocky and think I got it all figured out, and then I'm going to get shafted. So last night was incredible. So I refuse to bet tonight. I'll give some picks, but I need to know what you're doing tonight. What has you excited about tonight and this weekend?
Lighter night for me tonight. There's a couple of games that catch my eye. But let's start off in the NHL. And like you, Scott, I've been on a little bit of a roll. It's almost like pitching, the no-hitter. You don't like to say it out loud because it's like, oh, boy. And I get the same feeling. I'm like, ugh. I didn't even realize it the other night. I went 4-0 2 nights ago in the NHL. And I was getting tweets from people because I posted the picks. And people were like, oh, nice job. You swept the board. I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I did, right? Because I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I did. And then last night, very selective with my picks, and I went 2-0 in the NHL. So we're on a nice little 6-0 run in the National Hockey League. I find it tricky tonight in the NHL, though. It's a hard card, Scott. I've been riding Vancouver as an underdog. They've won 3 straight games, right? You know what I mean? Are they going to break the team up? Or are they going to trade Miller? And they've been feeding off it. They're on a run right now, but Dallas are good. I'm going to go with the Canucks one more time, though, here at plus 140. They're on the roll.
4-3 overtime win on the Johnston winner in Vegas. They're
perfect
tough to
spot.
beat.
Yeah, but it's a good spot to bet against the team off a big win like that, right? Like I said, it's not the best spot for the Canucks. They've been on the road all week. This is the back end of this. They're gunning for their 4th straight win right now. And they're beating good teams, too. They beat the Edmonton Oilers, the other night. They've had impressive wins. They went into to Nashville. Nashville aren't a great team, but it was a nice road win for them. They beat the Capitals.
So what about Columbus? They beat Vegas last night on the road, and they got another one tonight. Do you think they can go back-to-back?
No. Columbus, too, have been on a little bit of a run. I like Columbus last night, too, actually. I thought Vegas was a trap. I just thought the number was too high. I don't think Utah are all that. I mean, Utah are just sort of, they're an average team. They win a game, they lose a game type of deal. But this is a tough spot for Columbus. In altitude, back-to-back, coming off a big win against Las Vegas. So really tough spot for them. I don't want to lay the two.
Price is so awful.
No, I don't want to lay the 230. That's the
But
thing.
you wouldn't take Columbus with a goal and a half at plus 135?
It's not a bad price. Yeah, I see a 125, Scott, actually. Plus 1.5. Most NHL games are close to begin with, so I don't love the NHL card tonight. If I had to, I would take Columbus plus the goal and a half. I don't have a problem with that, but I'll roll the dice with the Canucks plus 140. College basketball, it's Ivy League night tonight, but you get these Big Ten games, Scott, and, we missed out on the Maryland game the other night. Fine. We didn't get the over. Right. But for the most part, we've been doing very well with these Big Ten overs, and your Hoosiers are on the road tonight against Purdue. Little Hoosier battle here. Hoosier State battle. Total's 146. Spanked. It's 12 points to spread, man. Man, it's high. But I like the over 146. I think it can get there. And the Billikens, if you guys saw the other night, St. Louis Billikens, they had to stop the game against VCU because there was a big brawl in the stands. But yeah, Scott, the Billikens are a damn good home team. Home court matters in these conferences. In college basketball, home court still matters. These guys are like 11-1 on their home court. They're 3-1 in their last 4 games. This is a winnable game for them tonight, Scott. I like them against Dayton on their home court tonight.
Anything Saturday, top 25 that stands out to you at all? There's a lot of really good games. What about Florida and Tennessee tomorrow? That's good. And, it's just endless. Michigan State going on the road. They haven't lost a game in 2 months. Can they win at USC and keep it going? UConn and Marquette, anything stand out?
No, you know what? I'm going to jump into them tonight, actually, Scott. I know I'm looking at today's point spreads still right now. But I can tell you last night, you like this one. We hit the I'm trying to get the odds up right now for the Senior Bowl. We hit the Shrine Bowl last night. So we hit the Shrine Bowl last night. Look, college football all-star action. We went 2-0. We're going to have the Senior Bowl coming up here. I'll have some picks for the Senior Bowl tonight on the show. I'll dig in, and we'll be talking Saturday's college basketball on tonight's SportsGrid, Scott.
So 10 o'clock Eastern to midnight, SportsGrid, setting the bar, setting the standard. All right, Gabe, I'll see you on Bourbon Street, brother.
Yeah, I'll see you in the French Corner.
Sunday morning. I doubt you'll be up, but I'll see you when you finally get up around 5 p.m.
Can they speak French in the French Corner for real?
We're going to get rid of all the badness, if you will, over the past few decades for the Raiders and set yourself up for the future. It's a horrible job to take if you expect to win, but it's not a bad paying gig, so go ahead and take it.
With an owner in Mark Davis who has continued to make bad decision after bad decision. Does Pete Carroll leave a culture behind that Joe Brady in 2 to 3 years takes over?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
He did nothing for 5 weeks. So he is becoming his brother. So I don't want to hear about how great T.J. Watt is with his 0 playoff wins. And he's the first guy to admit it. He comes right out and says, I've never won a playoff game. I don't matter. All right, at least we all know who the best player on the team is. It's George Pickens. If you don't believe that, well, then screw you, too.
Ferrall, Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We'll see if they get McCain back. Kelly Oubre, Yabusele's been good. Caleb Martin's a defensive specialist. Andre Drummond can still give you, almost a double-double at any point. I can't go south on this team. And now you're giving it to me at 2-1 to make the playoffs? To be in the Final 8? Folks, give me the Philadelphia 76ers to make the playoffs. at plus 210.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
What a game last night, Carver High and the FedEx Forum in Memphis off Beale Street. Another great town, another great game, Grizzlies and Rockets. I really think, Mike, that these are two of the most exciting young teams in the NBA, and I think they're both going to be dramatic to watch in the playoffs because they're both going.
They are absolutely both going, and who knows, down the road, we might get ourselves a playoff series between these two. Hopefully it's just as good as it was last night, 120-119. The Grizz get the win over the Rockets. Rockets got a big night from Jalen Green. He had 25. Grizz got 24 from Bain, 22 from Kennard. I've played you a lot in the past week. These final calls, like these Rocket games have been going down to the last possession. They've been winning these games at the end, but finally I had to give you them on the other side last night on TNT. They did not get it done in the final second.
That's the 5 for the Rockets, and here we go. Houston down by 1. Van Vliet fought 3, takes a 3 for the lead. Inside they fight. Buzzer game. The Grizzlies have won.
Did you see him rocking the Vancouver jerseys?
Yeah, I did see that, and I like the Vancouver back in the day throwback logo. I don't know how much the Vancouver people love that they use that, but it is a great throwback Grizzly logo. All of those and the colors too. You get that teal in there, that
brown.
green teal, which is very nice for the Grizz. But nice job by them last night. Getting the victory, and I hope we can get Grizzlies and Rockets.
Honestly, the Stones to take the 4.5 with the Rockets at the FedEx Forum, I was thrilled to hit that and cash that ticket.
Nice job all around. Elsewhere, Lakers thumped the Wizards 134-96. I mean, they were up 50-plus at one point in this game. Lots of burn for Bronny at the end. I actually kind of felt bad for him because they were like, I think they were almost like clowning him at the end, the Washington fans. Like they were all like standing up and chanting MVP when he was taking free throws at the end. But that's the spot that they've put him in. As far as his father, LeBron, goes, big night for him while he was out there. 24 points in 27 minutes. He had 11 dimes as well. J.J. Redick gives him a lot of credit for bringing it every night, even on nights when you would expect stars might not.
Yeah, he was awesome. I think he was aggressive. He talked, just his willingness to trust his teammates and create for others and create for himself was awesome. And don't overlook the fact, by the way, that he's 40 years old in year 22 with every accolade under the sun, and he comes out on a Thursday night that's a non-nationally televised game against a team that's really struggling, and he is the tone setter. It's again, competitive stamina. It's impressive.
Listen, we've all established his greatness and what he brings to the table every night. He's amazing. And, I said it yesterday about like guys like Westbrook and LeBron. They're from a different cloth. I mean, they just ball out no matter what every night. I bet, literally if LeBron was playing at the, Drew in LA in the summer tournament, he'd ball out in that too. Like he just plays ball hard every day. No questions asked. He's a phenomenal athlete. Like the way he keeps his body, you would never know he's 40. I mean, honestly, like he plays like he's 28 years old. It's a lot like me, Carver High. I'm 60, playing with 30-year-olds and dealing on the fresh meat on a daily basis and knocking down deep corner pocket Jays. Spectacular athleticism, despite the fact that I have a huge girth and I'm giving birth in March.
I just like how we've come to a point now in the NBA where so many guys don't play that we have to highlight and give bouquets to guys that actually do. Like Redick was doing there with LeBron. It's so uncommon now that superstars actually play all the time. Did you hear him? He's like, non-national TV game against a struggling team, and he still comes out and plays. I mean, you're supposed to come out and play every night. You're supposed to come out and play every night. So what?
Time out. I got 5 left. So today I did another one of those Field of Valor specials on Fox Nation, and I did it on Elgin Baylor. And I don't know if you know the story, but Elgin Baylor, when he played, because, most people remember him now as an executive with the Clippers. And he passed away in 2021. But did you know that when he played for the Lakers in after the 61 season, in 62, he was in the Army. And he served our country, right? And he how about this? He played on weekends only. And at one point for 2 months, he was serving in the Army and hadn't played in 2 months. And he came back after 2 months of not playing one game. And he scored in the first 2 games. They were playoff games, 38 and 41 points. And he played on the weekends. He was serving in the Army 5 days a week. And on weekends, he would travel by bus and by plane sometimes. He had a 2,000-mile limit to play in games. So he was like working an 8-day week, 100-hour work week, and playing in the NBA, scoring over 31 points a game. And in the games that he played, how about this? So one season he served in the Army the whole season and only played in 6 games. They won all 6 games. He averaged 38 and 22 rebounds. I said today on this special, guys today get pressed when they have a 16-10 double-double. This guy had a 38-22 average in 6 games, the only 6 games that he played because he was too busy serving in the Army. And we listened to this guy, Jimmy Butler, this cancer, this chronic backache, pain in the ass, with all of his demands and prima donna bullshack and his painted hair and all of the rest of his bullshack. And we got to put up with that. This guy, Elgin Baylor, was serving in the Army, still going to the hole, giving me 38 and 22 every night and winning. That's what's up, Carver High, right there. Your boy, EB.
Like you said, they're just cut from a different cloth. They're just not like most of these guys. They're just not made.
Did you know he never once? He played Wilt Chamberlain in 15 games of one-on-one and never lost once to Wilt Chamberlain. Beat him every time.
Wilt with the one-on-one action against Baylor back
losing
in the day.
to Baylor religiously.
Losing religiously. The Cavs beat the Hawks 137 to 115. Throwdown night for the Cavs all over the place. Evan Mobley, TNT.
Steal, another Atlanta turnover, their 5th of the quarter. No look to Mobley, and he dunks on Krejci. A poster.
Have you ever seen anything like, if you watch the Cavs, right? So I hit this bet, and I'm watching the game, and no one guards Max Strus. He's white, he's got long hair, he's wearing like a bandana. He looks like the guy Kelly from Bad News Bears. And he literally stands in the corner and jacks 30-footers one after the next and just snaps net. That no one guards him. And he's like the old guy that no one guards. That would be me in my games. No one guards me and they leave me open. Bad idea. Don't leave me open to just shoot free throw Jays. Your boy Max Strus knocking down threes from everywhere last night. Multiple in a row. I mean, the Cavs put a pasting on their ass.
We will come back and actually hear from their head coach, Kenny Atkinson. The Cavs, 3 All-Stars when we start to get into who made the All-Star team. He was very proud. We'll hear from him, get into the rest of those rosters of who's going to be going to
I
San
love
Francisco.
Kenny Atkinson. He's styling.
going to get rid of all the badness, if you will, over the past few decades for the Raiders and set yourself up for the future. It's a horrible job to take if you expect to win, but it's not a bad paying gig, so go ahead and take it.
With an owner in Mark Davis who has continued to make bad decision after bad decision. Does Pete Carroll leave a culture behind that Joe Brady in 2 to 3 years takes over?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
He did nothing for 5 weeks. So he's becoming his brother. So I don't want to hear about how great TJ Watt is with his 0 playoff wins. And he's the first guy to admit it. He comes right out and says, I've never won a playoff game. I don't matter. All right, at least we all know who the best player on the team is. It's George Pickens. If you don't believe that, well, then screw you, too.
Ferrall, Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We'll see if they get McCain back. Kelly Oubre, Yabusele's been good. Caleb Martin's a defensive specialist. Andre Drummond can still give you, almost a double-double at any point. I can't go south on this team. And now you're giving it to me at 2-1 to make the playoffs? To be in the Final 8? Folks, give me the Philadelphia 76ers to make the playoffs at plus 210.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
What a leaderboard at Pebble. Unbelievable. And I always love seeing the course and all the mansions on it in Northern Cali. And I'll never forget, as you know, my aunt ran the lodge at Pebble Beach for 42 years. She was the GM, and she lived in Carmel by the sea. Let me tell you something about highfalutin. Let me tell you something about high-end mortgages and rent. I mean, to tell you, Carmel by the Sea, it just sounds expensive, doesn't it? Your boy, Marty Straka, still with the lead over Don Henley. And look at Rory, the European fascist that he is. Going to only play in Europe now and down at the TGL, at the synchronized, what do we call it? The synchronized open? Simulator open. I can never get it right.
Rory's playing.
Oh yeah, what?
Rory's playing really well. Rory's playing good. He's only 3 back of Straka there, and yes, there's a lot of expensive houses on that Pebble Beach property, including Nance. I guess Nance is on the 7th, on that par 3 7th where Lowry had the ace yesterday. I believe Nance's house is right over there. He likes to go out in his backyard. I don't want to hear about Jim
Nance's millions and his housing situation. Thanks, I'm good. I'm okay with. Jim Nance has already got the world by the onions. I don't need to hear that he lives on Spyglass.
Yeah, he does.
Number 7.
Here's Kenny Atkinson, the head coach of the Cavs. Of course, 3 of his players will go to the All-Star game.
He's my favorite coach, this guy right here.
Very proud of his team.
Proud. Listen, you can't take that from them. They'll have it on their resumes the rest of their lives, and it's unique. And I don't know, to have 3 guys, on the All-Star team. I mean, that's phenomenal. I'm glad, really happy at, media, coaches, they recognized, how good those guys have been.
He's clearly in a crime family, Kenny. He's at the dinner table. He's got some of that going, clearly.
Saying he could have been like an extra on The Sopranos. He could have been one of Tony's guys.
I mean, easily down at the fish shop. I mean, automatic.
36 for Ant last night. T-Wolves beat Utah 138-113. And how about Portland? 6 of their last 7, and they smashed them 119-90, beating up on the Magic, and it's someone different every night. Your boy Scoot had 23 for the Blazers last night. Scoot getting involved. So nice to see from the Blazers that they actually have a pulse. All right, standings now going into the weekend. We like to look at these more than usual now because we've hit the new year. Still Cleveland, Boston, New York, Milwaukee, Indiana, Miami. But look out. You were saying this the other day. We did this early in the week. The Sixers now, since they've won 4 in a row, are actually 1 game back in the loss of Chicago for that last spot in the play-in tournament.
They're going to catch them because the Bulls suck, and they're going to go down like the Titanic. And I'm not going to be surprised at all if they trade Zach LaVine, and that'll be the end of them. They're not going to win with Lonzo's cranky knees and Vooch. I can guarantee you that. And I think, at some point, the prima donnas will come back. At the very least, Paul George will come back. And between, Maxi Pat and Paul George, Philly will catch Chicago at the very least. And, I have been less than impressed, thoroughly less than impressed with the Atlanta Hawks of late.
And if not Chicago, then I was just going to say probably Atlanta. One of them will pike all the way down the standings,
automatic,
and allow the Sixers to get in there. On the West side, still OKC, Houston, Memphis, Denver, Lakers, Clippers, Minnesota, Dallas, Phoenix, Sacramento down there. Warriors are tied all together, straight up, 24 and 23 with Sacramento at the bottom.
I mean, aren't like the Clips and the T-Wolves like on the same plane? They're literally in concert with one another, aren't they?
Yeah, the Clippers have played 1 less game, so they have 20 losses, and the T-Wolves have 21. So that's why
the Clippers are going to play tonight. They're going to win.
Very possible. Very possible. We will get to tonight's slate in a moment. Let's do these all-star rosters now. For the East and the West. Of course, we gave you the starters last week for it. So this is the Eastern Conference for their group. We know Giannis, Brunson, Mitchell, Tatum, and Kat were already there. Jaylen Brown, Cade Cunningham, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Damian Lillard, Evan Mobley, and Pascal Siakam. Eastern Conference All-Stars for you.
I mean, it's just so exciting. I can barely take it. I mean, I have goosebumps.
On the Western side, the ads last night were Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards, James Harden, Jaren Jackson Jr., Sengun, Wembanyama, and Jalen Williams of the Thunder. The West.
Listen, those last 3, in my opinion, are so worthy. It's not even funny. It's about time they got something right. I mean, honestly, and the way Davis has played for the Lakers, Peanut Brittle's been great. He dominates every night he plays. You never know when he's going to play, but when he does, he just takes over games. He's been incredible for the Lakers. And, I mean, how about LeBron? I mean, honest to Christ, the guy, 20-some years, and he started every one of them. I mean, it's just crazy. The guy's literally... it's inexplicable how he's still a starter in the All-Star game at 40. And you know what? He deserves it. He is no more 40 than you, honestly. You know what he's like? He's like an old horse that won't die. I mean, honestly, these horses live till they're like 30, and they just walk around and eat grass all day. That's your boy, LeBron. He just won't go away. He's not aged at all. In my opinion, he has not aged. He is still schooling fresh meat. In fact, I care so little about his son. All I care about is LeBron's game because his son's, not ready for the NBA. His dad's too busy dominating it.
going to get rid of all the badness, if you will, over the past few decades for the Raiders and set yourself up for the future. It's a horrible job to take if you expect to win, but it's not a bad paying gig, so go ahead and take it.
With an owner in Mark Davis who has continued to make bad decision after bad decision. Does Pete Carroll leave a culture behind that Joe Brady in 2 to 3 years takes over?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
He did nothing for 5 weeks. So he is becoming his brother. So I don't want to hear about how great TJ Watt is with his 0 playoff wins. And he's the first guy to admit it. He comes right out and says, I've never won a playoff game. I don't matter. All right, at least we all know who the best player on the team is. It's George Pickens. If you don't believe that, well, then screw you, too.
Ferrall, Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We'll see if they get McCain back. Kelly Oubre, Yabusele's been good. Caleb Martin's a defensive specialist. Andre Drummond can still give you, almost a double-double at any point. I can't go south on this team. And now you're giving it to me at 2-1 to make the playoffs? To be in the Final 8? Folks, give me the Philadelphia 76ers to make the playoffs at plus 210.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, so you know what? You gave me the starters and reserves, and I was bored to death. It's the snubs I want to talk about.
Yeah, everybody always gets excited about the snubs. LaMelo Ball, not going. Trae Young leads the NBA in assists per game, not going. Devin Booker, Kyrie Irving, Zach LaVine, Tyrese Maxey. I mean, Norm Powell, the year he's having with the Clippers, not going. And Domantas Sabonis, who leads the NBA in rebounds per game and has been excellent. So, I mean, look, there's always – you can't bring everybody. So there's going to be guys left out, probably some worthy candidates.
Honestly, it is beyond me. It really is. That – frankly, I think people want to watch Maxi Pad play basketball at the All-Star game. I think he's a superstar. I think LaMelo Ball is. I know Kyrie Irving is. There's not one guy in the NBA that can guard Kyrie Irving. Not one guy. And he's not in the All-Star game. And then, I get it. Norm Powell. I think Norm's like, this guy's toasting 30 a night. All the time, and he's been incredible. But no one gives a flying F about Norman Powell. That's just all there is to it. And I'll tell you what, I think Sabonis didn't get in because the Kings sucked monkey onions until about 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, they woke up from the dead, but it's too late. So I don't have a problem with that. Ice Trae, I think he's one of the best point guards in the NBA, without a doubt. You can say whatever you want, but he lights people up like a Christmas tree. And I got to be honest with you, I don't think D-Book deserves to be in the All-Star game this year. He's had some good games, but they've just sucked so bad for long stretches, the Suns. I don't disagree with that snub.
No, I don't have as big a problem with him. I think for me, Trae and Ball would be the two, just because there's two I would take out on the East fairly easily for them, which is Lillard and Hero. I would eliminate Lillard and Hero and put Ball and Trae. In their spots because they've had such good years. There you go. The All-Star game, which you were excited about.
How is Hero Sandwich an All-Star? What's he scored, 22 a game?
Yeah, he hits a lot of threes. Everybody loves Hero.
They don't win.
I know. But he's there. Coaches and everybody put him in. So we get Hero with
Where's
the All-Star
Jimmy
game.
Butler in the grand scheme of things? Is he going? Because, he's literally a fire starter.
Yesterday, we did that story about how the Pelicans, Zion's not going to play back-to-backs anymore with the Pelicans going forward. Now, he wanted to make it clear to everybody that this is not his decision. This is the team's decision. Here is Zion.
How exciting is it for you that there's no back-to-backs coming up, that there's a stretch of 6, 7, 8 games in a row where you can just keep playing?
Let me make this clear to everybody out there. If I can play in the back-to-backs, I would. I physically, yes, I can. But I work for the Pelicans. They have decided it based off the numbers, it's not smart to do that right now. So, if that's what they feel, I'm rocking with them on that. But yes, if I could play in a back-to-back, I would.
Let me be clear. That is the seed that has been planted for his exit from New Orleans. He now, obviously, to me, that was him saying, get me the F out of here. I work for the Pelicans, and they're the ones doing this to me. That's the beginning of the end right there. That's salvo right there. Beginning of the end. He will not be on the Pelicans for very long. If I were them at this point, I'd just trade him. Because, first of all, he never plays. He's always injured. He's been a massive injury waiting to happen. And now he's showing signs of malcontent. Now he's like coming right out with it. I work for these idiots. Is there anything worse than the employee that publicly talks about how stupid the people are that he works for? I mean, you got to keep those whispers in your wife's ear in bed at night, okay? Or your lover or your boyfriend, girlfriend. Bottom line, you start doing public interviews and mocking your bosses that they're idiots, you ain't long for this world, son.
I don't disagree with you, but I also don't mind him wanting to get that out there because we talk about this guy like it's him. Like he's the one that doesn't want to do it. He's the one, and he wanted to make it very clear that he's willing to play, and he puts it right on their plate that he ain't going to be doing it. So he will be out of there eventually. You're right about that. I don't think he's long in there.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Jimmy Butler has spread his cancer all over the Heat, and he has ruined their season. I do believe they'll never recover from this disastrous guy that is, purged on them. I mean, he's ruined. Like, they don't matter anymore at all. Like, I watched them play last night. They suck.
Ferrall, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
They have a lot of hopes, and they thought last year they were turning the corner. Even early this year, they start turning the corner, and then you lose 13 games in a row.
Edmonton chipped away. Got a late goal, won the game 4-3. I felt like they dominated the third period. They moved the puck on that power play. It was an exceptional hockey game. It went over the total.
Only on SportsGrid.